You ever stop and ask yourself, why am I even here, playing in this wasteland nasty server? I mean, think about it. You spend hours building a base, stacking up resources, only for someone to show up the next day, TNT the entire thing and leave a sign that says, nice try. That's the question I have asked myself countless times while exploring servers like 2B2T and 6B6T, and the answer is more complicated than it seems. Most servers have plugins, moderators and rules. You grief a base, you get reset. On Anarchy servers, everything stays. Every betrayal, every single scar on the landscape is permanent. And that permanence is what keeps people hooked, because every single thing you do actually matters. You can see it in the stories. Back in 2016 on 2B2T, a group known as Nerds Inc. found secret exploits, actual backdoors that let them control parts of the world and the rest of us couldn't even see. They could spy on bases, crash the server, teleport around. For months, nobody knew who was pulling the strings. Pure digital warfare. And the best part? Nobody could stop it. Then came the Rusher War. Tens of thousands of new players flooded in after the Camping Rushers video. Veterans hated them, calling them Rusher spawn rats. The old guard players like Sato86, the Resistance and FitMC formed alliances just to defend the ancient highways. Bases were blown up, entire factions were wiped out. But out of that chaos came a story that's still talked about nearly a decade later. That's what makes these servers special. Fast forward to 6B6T, one of the newer Anarchy servers. One of the most infamous groups there is called IKEA. These guys found a duplication exploit so powerful, they filled tens of thousands of double chests with loot, elytras, totems, shulkers. But what made them legendary wasn't just the size of their stash. They destroyed it themselves. They burned down their entire base, a stash worth millions, as a symbol to say, we own the chaos. You can't make that up. And the thing is, it's not just the big events. It's the small ones, the betrayals, the paranoia. Once I met a player named Lapis_led somewhere around a million blocks out. We shared food, traded tools, and built a little stone hut together to survive the night. I actually started trusting him, and on the fourth day, I logged in and he had griefed the entire place. A sign left behind, never trust anyone. Lapis. It hurt, but in a weird way it also felt perfectly fitting. That's the beauty of Anarchy. Trust actually means something. On normal servers, you trust because you're supposed to. Here, you trust because you're risking everything. That constant risk, that tension, makes even the smallest victories feel monumental. Then there's the legacy. 2B2T hasn't reset once since 2010. 14 years of distraction, building, betrayal, and the art is all still there. There are bases like Space Valkyria, a floating fortress built block by players like Jack the Ripper and MacBook Air. It's gone now, griefed into oblivion, but its ghost still exists in screenshots and coordinates whispered in private discords. That's what keeps veterans coming back. Not the loot, not the power, but the legacy. Because in a world with no rules, reputation is everything. PopBob, one of 2B2T's earliest players, hasn't logged in for years, but the name still sends chills through old players. You see, in Anarchy servers, you're not playing Minecraft anymore. You're living inside a social experiment. No police, no protection, no second chances. You can become a legend or a ghost. That's why people keep coming back. Because on Anarchy, every decision matters. Every block placed, every betrayal, every explosion leaves a mark. Some join for chaos, some join for power, but the real veterans play for something else. They play for the story. So yeah, you might spawn in a lava pit, you might die 10 times before you even craft a pickaxe. Someone might grief everything you have ever built. But if you manage to survive, even for a day, you become part of something far greater. That's why people still play. Because in Anarchy, you can lose everything, but your story will always remain. Welcome to Anarchy, where the only rule is survival.